So this weekend, I made a trip up to Memphis to go watch a Lakers game. And while I did that, I stopped at the Bass Pro they got in Memphis. Obviously, that was one of the other reasons I was going. That place is super cool, but while I was there, I found this, the Big Bass Bundle. And I figured that would be something really cool that I could bring on and unbox. So bought me one, and today we're gonna rip into it and see what it's got in it. Obviously, it says what it's got in it on the back, but I'm not reading all that, so we'll open it and see what it's got in it firsthand. All right, I'll give you all the first look. Looks like there's something probably pretty good in there. I like how it came in this. That's so much better. Usually these boxes just got stuff all thrown inside of it. I actually like that they put it in this little bag. All right, so the first bait we've got is the 6 Cents Vega Frog. That's a nice looking frog right there. I'm sure we can get something done with that. I actually seen one of these. It looks like a popping frog. I seen one of these when I was in the Bass Pro and I almost bought one. It's a good thing I didn't, because obviously got one here in the box, but it's a nice looking frog, popping frog. I'm sure we get something done with that. It's getting hot outside, it's getting summertime, so on those summer nights or summer mornings when a little bit of fog's rolling in, that could be a great bait to use. Next, we got a pretty iconic lure, the Red Eye Strike King Shad. You see these all over. Every single store's got some of these on the back wall, or in Walmart they just got them on the aisle, but these are definitely a pretty iconic lipless crankbait. It's definitely a good bait. I mean, everybody's caught fish on these. Super iconic bait. Shouldn't be a problem at all to catch something on that. Next, we've got the Power Bait Slobber Knocker. That's a name. I'm sure it's a good, it looks like a chatterbait is what it looks like. I thought it was a jig, but it looks like a chatterbait. I just pulled it out and looked at it. But yeah, I'm sure it'd catch fish. They're gonna call it a bladed jig, same thing, bladed jig, chatterbait. Yeah, they catch fish. Definitely a good presentation too. Not exactly the colors that I would use to match the hatch in my area, but I'm sure it'll catch fish. I mean, you don't have to exactly match the hatch. Always it helps, but fish will bite just about anything if you throw it enough. Next, we do actually have a jig, the Enticer. I guess it's just Bass Pro branded Rattling Jig Pro Series. Does have a little rattle to it. Not a big rattle, but there's something. I mean, a little something extra to get them fish enticed. Also, something I forgot to mention, at the end of the video, we'll add up how much all this cost, and I'll tell you if it's a good value or not. The box was 40 bucks, so that's your baseline value. I'll tell you if we got a good price or not. But next, we've got the Laser Eye Buzz Master. Big buzz bait there. I feel like you never see these anymore. This is like such an old school bait in the bass fishing industry now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen somebody throwing a big buzz bait in a long time. But that's a real nice looking one, real interesting there. But yeah, should catch fish. All the same things as the frog is when I would throw this. Morning time, kind of foggy, overcast. That's when I'd be throwing a buzz bait. But yeah, another good bait. We're getting down to the last couple hard baits here, and then it's gonna be a whole bunch of soft baits, but one more of these Enticer jigs. This one's a football head jig. I don't really live in an area with a lot of great places to throw jigs. I've probably said that a million times in my videos, but the places I fish, just they don't have a lot of structure. I don't have a boat, so I can't get out on the river and really find great spots with structure, but the ponds I fish are just kind of empty, so if you're gonna use a jig, it's kind of gotta be a swim jig or a bladed jig, but football head jigs, they're good. I mean, you can catch stuff if you find structure, and I do have some structure, so maybe I'll throw this around here soon, but yeah, just another good bait. Next, we've got the XPS All-American, little spinner bait there. Once again, with stuff like this, spinner baits, jigs, all that, I mean, you know how they work. They're pretty basic baits. Everybody's used them, so not much to talk about there, but I'm sure it's a good spinner bait, catch fish. And now we've got our last hard bait in the box, the 6 Cents Crush 50X. It's a real nice looking little crankbait. I don't know why I couldn't think of crankbait. But yeah, it's a really nice looking little crankbait. Almost looks like a perch maybe. A little perch or a little sunfish colorway. Kind of looks like one of them little, kind of looks like a lighter colored pumpkin seed. That's what it kind of looks like. Like a more yellow pumpkin seed with all that right up there near the face. But yeah, I'm sure that'll catch fish. I mean, crankbaits are super easy to catch fish on all time of year. You find somewhere with rocks on them, and they're pretty easy to catch as long as the fish are in the rocks. So I'm sure that would catch fish super easy. So another great bait. And these are a little trailer for whatever you got in there. You throw it on a jig, you throw it on the spinner bait, I guess. I've seen people do that before. I've never done that, but you throw this on anything. This is a bow hog This is another, I've seen these a lot more back in the day, more of an old school bait, but I guess they're making a comeback. I didn't see any of those even in the store, but yeah, I mean, they're a great trailer to use, so that's cool. Now this is what I'm talking about. These are what I like fishing with, just worms. These are some tournament series heavy salt open pore worms. They don't say a name on them, they're just worms. I'll pull one of these out and show you. You see that? They're definitely heavily salted. They're not lying about that. That's a really nice worm. It smells like those older school worms, like the, I think they were called Venom. They don't even sell them anymore in the Walmart. I don't know if they sell them anywhere. But it was like Venom, and there were a couple other brands of those old school worms. And they all smelled like this, were all really heavily salted. I loved those worms when I was a kid. They were super good. But these kind of seem to have a similar make, so I'm sure they're good. Sure they'll catch a bunch of bass, and we'll throw that on a Texas rig one day and see what we can get done. Or another thing I like to do with these more finesse style worms, and it's kind of, I don't see a lot of people doing it. I see a lot of people wacky rigging like Senkos and stick bait, stuff like that. But I'll wacky rig one of these like more finesse type of worms, and they do really good. I don't know if that's something other people are doing right now or what, but that's my pro tip of the day, even though you're probably already doing that, but it works. It's a really good tactic when the fish are a little bit more hesitant to bite. Seems as though we've got one thing left in this bag here. It is the Crack Crawl Tournament Series from Bass Pro Shops again. Just a crawl. I mean, I'm sure it works good. You can use it as a trailer. You can use it on its own as in a Texas. Oh, no. No, you definitely can't use that. You got to use that as a trailer, probably. Small profile bait. I mean, I'm sure you could catch fish on it on its own, but you'd need a small hook to Texas rig this thing. It's definitely a interesting looking bait, to say the least. Nice color to it. I'm sure to catch fish on its own. I'm sure it'd probably be a good bait for like crappie or big panfish, I'm sure. So the price of this box is right here, $40, and the value of all the stuff we got inside is also right here. I don't know what it is yet. I'm not inside. I haven't added it up, but you'll see if it's a good value or not. Either way, it seemed like it was. I mean, we got a lot of stuff in this box. For it to be $40, it feels like we got a lot more than $40 worth of stuff in there. I could be wrong, I could be right, I don't know yet. But yeah, just opening it up was fun. There was a lot of stuff in there, a lot of variety. I got another big crate like this one time and reviewed it on the channel. That video is right here. I'll leave a link to it in the description. And it had no variety. It was a bunch of crankbaits and a bunch of worms. That was about it in there, if I remember correctly. So it's good to see a box with a lot of variety in it. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, do all that other stuff. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm out. Please subscribe.